This is a Bouverensis pine that I created more than 40 years ago. They are customers' trees which they have neglected, and he has asked me to restore it to some sort of former semblance of a bonsai. So I have a free hand. It's very nice that I see trees that I have grown and sold 30, 40 years ago, and they come back to me. The sad part is that sometimes they're very neglected, but this is a good lesson as to what you can do with a tree like this. Like human beings, trees go through all sorts of cycles. They get old and they need rejuvenation and they need a new lease of life. So when I get a tree like this, I don't throw up my hands in horror and say, oh, that's the end of the world, you know, what has he done with it? He spoiled the tree. But I can see there's a lot of potential. So the first thing I do is, these branches have died, almost died. There's some bits of green, but I don't think I'll be able to rescue this branch. Same with this one, there's just one or two little bits of green. So, no point hanging around. We just get the whole thing off. And if I cut it short, I could possibly use it for making gins. So we're more or less starting from a brand new tree. This is like raw material. It's still got some life, but I won't bother to try and even rescue that. So that will eventually become a bit of driftwood. Same with this one. Rather than waste time with the small secateurs, let's bring the big boy. So all these are going to be destined for making gin. There's still some life left, but we won't even bother. So the character of the tree will be changed. We'll completely alter the character of the tree. I don't usually try to envisage what I'm going to do at this stage. I just have a vague idea. The obvious thing that I have seen is that these dead branches are no good for man or beast, so we will get rid of it. Anything which is dead I'm going to just take off, leave a little stub in case I want to make gin with it. Bouverensis, if left to their own devices, they produce a lot of twigs. If you look at this superstructure, look at the twigginess in there. Talk of budding back, you see the twigginess in there. But it's both a blessing and a curse. When you get twigginess like this, it is so twiggy that it is going to be a problem because the density being so intense makes it almost unusable. Too much ramification. So for the next few minutes, I'm literally going to go in, look at that. Come close and look at that. All that in there, half of it is dead like that. I've got to go in and take the dead out. So rather than waste valuable viewing time, I'm going to switch the camera off. In the next few minutes, I'm just going to go in there and take all the dead twigs out. And then we will revert to it again. So while Josh is cutting the dead out, look at the amount we've got out from there. Just in 5 minutes, we've managed to remove all that debris. Debris is what it is. All dead twigs, maybe 20 years of neglect, And simply getting the dead twigs out has made the tree look new. And we haven't even started styling or wiring any of the pads. But I'm going to wire them to see if I can improve it much more. So here we are, after about 10 minutes of tidying up. Literally 10 minutes is all it took to get these dead twigs out. And simply getting the dead twigs out, what a difference it has made. It's almost made it look like a new tree. I would be quite happy to just leave the tree as it is. But now that I can see the real tree without the dead twigs, I can see that the front can be changed. This was the original front, but over the last 30 or so years, having this as the front doesn't give it a good movement in the trunk. Whereas if I turn the trunk like this, can you see what lovely movement there is here? So this is a possible new front. By the same token, if I turn it the other side, this is also a possible new front. In fact, with all these gins, this is possible as a new front. So I've got to keep the mind open and see if I get a better view from that. Okay, looking at it again, with the gins over here and the line like that, if I were to make this the front, like so, this would work. So we're going to do a bit of wiring like this. But because it's going to take quite a while, I can't do it all in one day. I'm going to take my time to wire this slowly to see if I can improve it further. So I don't want to rush this, but at least I've shown you just in 10 minutes from tidying up what I've managed to achieve. It is now virtually a new tree like that. Yeah. And the decision now would be to perhaps do that. I could even utilize that branch. Why waste it? I might even do that. And just wire some of these branches, and then we will get a new bouverensis from that tree. So I think just that in itself would make a good video for learning from tidying up a tree to give it a new lease of life. So this tree will probably end up something like that. So that is the new tree which is going. This is a nice one because the gins are going to be nice like that. And gins I will probably get one of my assistants to strip the bark and probably carve it. This was dead, so it's not that easy to strip the bark. It would have to be done with a router or a Dremel. So I hope you've learned how to tidy the tree up and give the tree a new look. And I haven't done any trimming to get the triangular shape. This is all natural. But if I can just give you a little tip, this is where it's going to take time. Every single shoot, I'm going to have to tip back to get back budding. If I didn't do it, all these shoots will get extended and become longer and longer, and I won't get any shoots there. So I have to do this to encourage just a bit of bud back. I know this is going to take time, so I'm just going to shear it. I'm not going to worry too much. When I get the new buds, I can then clean up the needles. So there you go. I will show you this in stages.